And we're gonna be able to record it, so if we want a clip to put in our social media.
Oh yeah, all things recorded.
Okay.
Of course. Of course. Just like the Kip Cobb one, just like everything. We're gonna go through it and we're gonna cut out all your ums. And it's 12:48, and that's what it looks like right now. I really wish. I don't know why it won't.
Why it will not?
Yeah, I don't know.
I guess because coming from Zoom, that's not. That's the way it shows in YouTube, but that's not YouTube. It's just YouTube. That was also in on Facebook, right? When we did the trivia Tuesday, trivia Tuesday.
Make sure that's there. And all right. Do you have your little sheet of paper with all your things written down and all the notes? And
that's what I wanted to start here, and that way I can just scroll up instead of moving a paper or anything.
Okay, but don't we already have some paper for you to?
Oh yes, the bottom rather. Thank you, baby. I'm getting that notepad. So So when you ask me what is rejuvenate, it's not what rejuvenate does is creates personalized fitness, health and wellness programs for your modern life. What is rejuvenate? So I was thinking rejuvenate is an online and in-person fitness, health and wellness coaching system that creates personalized programs for your modern lifestyle. What do you think? Did you get the chance to hear me?
Yeah. The question is, can you say, yeah, Rejuvenate creates personal fitness and wellness programs for a modern lifestyle? Be able to say it so it doesn't sound like you're reading it.
Okay. I just wanted to be precise of if you ask me what is, if I say Geovy creates, that's not what it is. It's what we do.
Okay. In that case, what is it?
Rejuvenate is an online and in-person fitness, health, and wellness coaching system that creates, now we do in what we do, we create personalized programs for your modern lifestyle.
Oh, okay.
So it says what we
It
are
does both.
and what we do.
Sure.
So the question is direct, what is Rejuvenate? And we go from there what we do, which is great. So it combines both things.
Okay. Hey.
Sometime.
Hello, hello.
Hello.
Hello. Hello,
Good
hello, hello.
morning. It's not even good morning. It's good afternoon.
Yes, it is.
The morning went way too fast. Way too fast. That's a wonderful Wednesday, right? Middle of the week.
Halfway there. And then the
Halfway
rain
there.
starts. Don't even want to think about it.
Exactly. Let's understand that.
Did you get on court this morning?
Oh man, I don't even want to distract from what's going on. My daughter was, she was gone all weekend, or not even all weekend. She went to a friend's house who is the mom's an ICU nurse. The whole family's been vaccinated. So, she comes home saying, Dad, I'm a little, my head's bothering me that they have cats. So, she always a little allergy to cats. So we set her out Monday, seemingly improved. Long story, if it wasn't for this environment, she'd be in school today, but she's got a performance coming up and their big walkthrough this weekend. So we're getting her tested today. So I'm on a tight 2:00 because we have to be there by 20 after 2 to register.
Gotcha.
I'm flying out, but and if they're supposedly going to give us a result, but so now since I've made it public, I have to quarantine or until we get the result.
Oh, gotcha.
Even though we're real, I have no symptoms. She is doing. She has no of the big symptoms. She's got a congested head. That's it. There's
okay.
That's right. But at these times in life, we cannot take that lightly.
Exactly. We just were error outside of caution, and I didn't want her going into rehearsal on Friday and Saturday being self-conscious if her head was a little clogged. People looking at her, even though her theater has been somewhat lax. I don't want to be that guy. So we're supposedly going to get it done, and they're going to tell us within 24 hours, supposedly the results. So hopefully, like I said, she's doing better today. She keeps feeling better. If any other diet, like I grew up, my mother, if I didn't have a temperature, I was going to school.
Yeah.
So, my mother sits here and cringes, and I'm like, well, this is just the world we live in. It's all we can do.
That's right. That's right. Just hydration, vitamin C.
Oh, she's going through water like no tomorrow.
Oh, good for her. That is awesome. That is awesome. What kind of performance she's gonna be in?
They're doing her. She's with Foresight Academy of Performing Arts. They're doing The Little Mermaid.
Oh,
and she's either Flotsam or Jetsam. One of Ursula's henchmen.
I had cats. I had cats when we first met. My two cats were named Flotsam and Jetsam.
So yes, so she's that, and it's really, unfortunately because of COVID, usually they do this huge theater conference, and by the grace of God, it's here in Atlanta, and we've gone, and that's where they're supposed to perform it, but because of COVID, they canceled it this year. It's a great performance. It's unbelievable. This guy does, Tim McDonald. He is ungodly, this thing. And you think he does it as a money grab. Last year, he came down and spoke at a junior high conference. And not only did he speak, he taught one of the classes. And he was an amazing teacher. And it was funny because I went up to him and just say hello. And Emily's like, you guys, he acted like you guys were all friends because, we go to the conference every year. Super guy. So we're a little disappointed that we're not going to JTF this year, but that's what it's attached to. So everything's a little bit off, but it's kind of a big deal for these guys. They perform starting in August.
That's right. They work a lot. They work through a whole season just to perform. It's like all the training that you go through it to play the tennis match on the weekend is what they do through all the years, and it's years of practice. to
It
get
is.
to that point to performing that.
It's
At that
training.
level.
It's a good thing. It's a great academy. It's very friendly, very family oriented. We like it. I mean, if she's going to continue to do it, we might, you hate to say, might have to go someplace else just because they're more family oriented. But it definitely was what I wanted it to be during when we first enrolled. So
Oh,
nothing
that is
but good things.
wonderful. You feel at home there. That is
Yes,
goodness. That
absolutely.
makes it for the parent and for the child, makes it just, then is when they start loving what they do.
Yes.
If they're good at it, and if they love it, they just the perfect combination, that environment that they are.
You must be a coach.
Yeah, it seems like I have that in me, just a little bit, just a
That's
little
right. You must be a coach. Listen, if you don't love it, you're not going to practice. So don't bother. Don't waste
Yeah.
my time.
Amen. That's right. You cannot put that in a child
good
or
point
in
of
an
view.
adult. It's either you love it and you're willing to put that effort, that time, that everything that involves, and you do it because that's your self-motivation.
Yes.
Nobody's gonna install in you unless it's something that comes from within.
We talked about it in our first podcast. The one thing coaches can't coach is heart and competitiveness. You got it, and you got to drive it. We can nurture it, we can build upon it, but if the kid doesn't have it, we are eventually going to come to a point where talent will only take you so far.
That's right. And we take so, and when that happens, unfortunately, is either, even if they have the talent, the child might not follow that talent or the willingness to keep going because everything else is not in place, and it ruins it for the child because they don't keep it as a hobby.
Burnout is a thing.
That's right.
So then jumping right in, and we're perfectly happy. We're kind of putting together all the responses and all the statements and realizing that some of the questions that we would ask Geovy, I'm actually better suited to answer.
That's right.
Okay.
From the business point of view, we had a conversation, and I said, baby, I know we are trying to bring this in a certain direction. If you put it on me, I will be so broad, and that's how I do with all the love in my heart, and because that's who I am, no matter in the business or in the personal life. But if he wants to bring that into the just business part, he will be the most qualified to do that.
Well, he's going to ask the very pointed questions. Don't you mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Tell me, what direction do you want me to take this answer?
Didn't you mean to say that you had the space and I needed the space? And
that's right.
Therefore, since we're married, we didn't actually write a contract.
That's
how's sound on your end? My voice compared to hers?
Good.
Yeah.
I mean, they're both very, very same.
Okay.
Awesome, because we were dealing with
it took us a second to figure out how to do it. I'll have to walk you through my technical setup here.
That's right.
At some point later, let you know what we did, because with this mic, we've never run two different microphone systems before.
That's right. I know you can see it. I
can see you.
Thankfully, running this one is wireless, but it's got to go into port 2 of the codec thing that I'm running of my external sound card, and then I got to figure out the mine versus hers, and does hers pick up the ambient sounds, and does mine, and I don't know, all the
I see
all the fun
nothing
stuff.
in any background. It sounds like you two we're having a conversation.
Seems
Awesome.
okay.
Yeah,
Fantastic. Level wise, I'm usually louder than everybody else. Is she significantly quieter than me, or it seems unnoticeably everything seems fine?
Yeah, no, I can hear her. I mean, it sounds like it's everybody speaking, like you said, the way we do.
Awesome.
Okay.
Perfect.
So the way we do.
That
Sean's
helps.
obviously
That's right. The way we do
20% louder than everybody else. All right, I got it.
Oh, it's amazing when I do the lives, and I am, even with the mic, sometimes it will pick up his voice that he's in the other side of the apartment. It's crazy. His voice travels through the air very well.
Oh, trust me, I'm from New York. We communicate on a much higher decibel level. So, down here, I'm like, that's not yelling. That's just that's natural. That's
Exactly.
How's a guy in a cab 50 meters away going to hear you? You're not.
Exactly.
So it's amazing because I was listening to the podcast that you guys had with Mr. Kip, and then I learned that you were born and raised up north.
Yes.
And I said, I knew it because even though you have been for so long here in the South, you don't have that Southern accent, and you have that, you project yourself very well. It's not that strong like it would be, a person that's still up north. in New York because my mom used to live in New York for many, many years before I arrived here to the States. And so I am familiar with that way to project the voice even. So it was interesting. It's like, I knew he was not from down here. That was pretty neat.
And did Sean tell you I'm Cuban too? So I grew up. My mother's side is all Cuban. So unfortunately, I don't speak Spanish. That's a big problem I have with my mother.
But it's never too late.
Trust me. That's what I was doing. I was taking the Pimsleur class during the beginning of COVID. I've done, I go back and I get close every time to where I'm almost starting to not translate. And then I get away from it again. And my mother doesn't speak. I mean, she's the real culprit. She can understand, but growing up in the Bronx, she always felt a little bit out on the outside to begin with because of their financial situation that she did not speak. And it kills me because my grandmother really raised me till I was 3 because my mother was finishing college. So Spanish theoretically should be my first language.
That's right. And it is. It's interesting how the brain works. The fact that if you start listening to Spanish music, if you start listening even to books, podcasts in Spanish, you will catch up words and then you will understand what the combination within the sentence. And all of a sudden, it just comes naturally. So I would say that part of your practice.
I can see your membership having a fun response of listening to you drive up in your car, listening to reggaeton.
That's right.
I would make the joke is up until Saturday Night Fever, and I'll date myself here. So we're 78. That was the one time of the year we got in touch with our Hispanic side was New Year's Eve. We go to my godfather's house and we'd always put on the Tito Puente albums. So, once a year we all got around and did a little bit of the Hispanic side. Then we'd go back into our other world and pretend. But once Saturday Night Fever hit, it was all over.
That's right. It's in your blood, so you cannot hide from it. It's just right there. You have to let it flourish.
Well, I'm with you. Ozzie Guillen, the manager says if you're going to be a shortstop or a third baseman, you better know how to salsa. So I've taken that and I tell my people on the tennis court, listen, if you don't know how to work from the waist down, you're never going to be a tennis player. So go home,
very true.
Learn how to salsa and get back to me. So
that's right. Oh, I love that.
And I tell her quite a bit when you're on your 4th tennis lesson.
That's right.
We've done 3.
Getting better.
Done 3, coming up on 4. And as a dancer, I think she'll be okay.
Right.
She's going to start figuring that out. I watched her during a lesson just doing a hand-fed side-to-side drill where I watched her be able to turn her feet better over just 5 minutes of doing the drill. How quickly she improved compared to other adults where it's often
footwork.
Years before they just can't quite figure it out, right? And here she all of a sudden is turned and doing it well, and it was kind of fun to watch. That wasn't a conversation we'd had yet because I don't need to compliment her every time she does something well. I'd spend my whole life just complimenting her.
It will be beautiful. Hey, that's part of what I do.
She's like, you don't compliment me enough. What are you talking about?
Right. I go way over the top, but it's never enough, right? That's part of nurturing the relationship, and I love that. The moment.
Hang on one second. We thought this might happen.
Exactly.
Oh, did I hear a dog?
Well, is the door at the apartment? We have the maintenance people, and just yesterday we found out that here in the studio we have some little tiny bugs around the windows, and we put the request. And today we were just thinking it would be very interesting, just as we are in the podcast, trying to do this.
They come,
and they are just knocking at the door.
Of course.
Of course, that's what happens. But those were tiny little bugs, like a fruit flies.
It's a fruit fly, yeah.
Yes, but there's not. I mean, I just have a few plants there and nothing else, and there's no really risk unless the weather, and
once it gets over 65 degrees, they're back.
That is true. Last year it was interesting because we had it here in the apartments and we're in the first floor.
All right. 2:15. Let's log back in. We need to let in pest control.
Well,
let me call you right back. And sorry, not 2:15. 1:15. 7 minutes.
Okay, bye.
Bye.